is up, ladies and gentlemen of the online Jamily, JamiroFan 2000, the beard of wisdom of the online Jamily here with yet another episode of JamiroFan Talks About. This, of course, has been my recurring discussion series of nearly 10 years here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel, looking at the past, present, and future of Jamiroquai and now over 30 years of their musical making and influence. This episode of JamiroFan Talks About is going to be dealing with a few more little recent music copyright updates about 9 Jamiroquai songs popping up on music copyright repertories, which have been happening throughout the end of February of 2026 into March and middle of March of 2026. And the first piece of news I thought I'd share here on the JamiroFan Talks About is that we had all 3 of the aforementioned songs from Jamiroquai album 9 that are known, which would be Disco Stays the Same, Stop the War, Shadow in the Night, and of course Queen Machine pop up recently on the German Jama music copyright search engine, aka Repertory. Now this is pretty substantial because this would count as yet another European nation's musical repertory where these 3 aforementioned 9 Jamiroquai songs have popped up. Given I recently talked about here on many videos here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel about how Jamiroquai HQ recently pre-registered or registered 3 of the known 9 Jamiroquai songs on many music repertories, which I'll be covering on yet another episode of JamiroFan Talks About, going into more of a summary on the state of how many repertories these 3 songs in question have popped up on. But that is not the only piece of supplemental news I have to share about music copyrights and Jamiroquai album 9. Now, take the second half of this episode of JamiroFan Talks About in regards to music copyrights and Jamiroquai album 9 with a little bit of grain of salt. Now, many years ago here on my channel, I did discuss some music repertory song listings that I had seen that I thought at the time were going to be on Jamiroquai album 9, but I didn't decide to run with the story. I just, put it on the shelf and left it alone. But as of recently, in the case of the Australian Opera Amcos search engine, I have come across prospectively and potentially more song titles that have been found under either JK's name, Matt Johnson, or Jamiroquai in question on a music repertory, and consider this bit of this episode of JamiroFan Talks About as a bit of supplemental news. Now, like I said, I've been on the hunt to try to find the other new song titles that would be potentially in Jamiroquai album 9, given that Jamiroquai HQ did reach out to me and say that they're going to be adding more new song registrations onto these aforementioned regional music copyright repertories in the upcoming future. Hopefully around the time of when this album will be coming out, we will have the full track list. But anyway, I digress. Now, there are 5 songs in question that I have been following on music copyright repertories going all the way back to 2021. So some of these songs could be on the 9 Jamiroquai album, some could probably just be lyrical fragments of titles of other unreleased Jamiroquai songs that JK and Co. have written over the years. So take this bit of this episode with a grain of salt. But the 5 songs in question were, at least in this case, spotted on the Opera Amcos Australian music copyright repertory, and those songs are as follows in no particular order: Losable Song, Don't Have to Prove It, How It Should Be, Crazy Life, Watching You. Now, a good majority of the songs, including Crazy Life and Watching You, are the two only songs who literally have notations of every band member of the current lineup of Jamiroquai as having contributed to the writing of those said songs. But like I said, a couple of these song listings date as far back as 2021, and these could be potential, grain of salt, please, potential song titles for Jamiroquai album 9, music copyright registrations for new songs on Jamiroquai album 9. But like I said, these are just 5 songs I've been watching, 2/3 of which I've been watching for many years to see if they could potentially have some inclusion in Jamiroquai album 9. But if you'd like to check out my 2 infographics that I produced for the online Jamily to see in your own time, starting with the 3 known songs that popped up on the German music copyright repertory, and these 5 potential other Jamiroquai song titles that I spotted on the Opera Amcos Australian music copyright repertory, I'll be sure to put links to both of those infographics I provided to the online Jamily on the subreddits of the online Jamily, and of course on my social media down in the description area of this episode of JamiroFan Talks About down below. So be sure to check that out in your own time. And as always, if any more Jamiroquai new song titles pop up on the music copyright repertories by happenstance, and they turn out to be confirmed by Jamiroquai HQ or their management, I'll certainly pass that information on in future videos here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel. But as always, this is JamiroFan 2000. I hope you enjoyed this episode of JamiroFan Talks About. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe, and ding the bell on your YouTube to stay up to date on all the latest new content coming from the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube YouTube channel as we roll into the second quarter of 2026, which I'm sure is going to be having us all in store for some very exciting times and much more confirmations and news, hopefully pertaining to more upcoming tour leg editions, name of the Jamiroquai, a new Jamiroquai album, the track list, and hopefully the first single. That information will hopefully be on the fast track sometime between March to April of 2026. But as always, this is JamiroFan 2000, and I'll see you really soon with more Jamiroquai related content here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel. Bye bye, everybody. Take care. Exciting times, and I'll see you around.